Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update. Tuesday, August 11th, 10:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2020. Almost 1 million people still without power after the big storm, the flat corn derecho of August 10th, 2020, crushed. Well, not the Midwest, not the North. Well, they're just a swath of destruction. Keep calm. It's grand solar minimum boom time. 7 tornadoes touched down in Chicagoland area during Monday's Derecho storm, confirmed by the National Weather Service. At least 7 tornadoes touched down across Chicago area as a strong Derecho storm system crossed across the region Monday night, including one that passed through Chicago's city limits. According to the National Weather Service, a long-lived thunderstorm complex, which originated along the Nebraska-South Dakota border, produced widespread severe wind damage across northern Illinois and Indiana Monday afternoon. Straight-line winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour. We're going to show you 100 plus. We're calming. Keep calm. We're just getting there. Derecho moves southeast after storms leave more than 1 million without power overnight. Not only that, it took names. There's a 2x4 in the living room through the wall of someone's house. That looks like a directed energy weapon, to be quite honest. Or it could be natural. Anybody's guess. Well, we don't have any of these amazing videos parsed up because we simply don't have the bandwidth, but it's about to hit the fan. Trust me. Let's see if we can just pull one of these up real quick. If the tweeter will work with us. Will it work with us? I just clicked the triangle. So, it's anyone's guess. Do you like my hat? Take a look at that. Holy macaroni. That's a lot of wind. A lot of wind. Looks like I get blown over there. Well, that derecho flattened corn across the continent. We're going to show you that. Let's quick go to poweroutage.us. There was over 1 million people without power 24 hours ago, and hours of power really hasn't helped the situation. Take a look. 348,000 still without power in Iowa. 328,000 in Illinois. How in Illinois are they? Hello, Top Knot. 31,000 Indiana. 20,000. He's in Michigan. He's only at the 13,000 mark here. That would be Top Knot's number, 13,086. But a total of 750. That's 750,000 booms. Well, people without power, which is kind of a not boom, you know? Because if you don't have power, well, hours of powers are gone. Look at some of these pictures. Derecho leaves 2 dead. Heavy crop damage in the Midwest. We're about to show you some of the devastation. Iowa City, Iowa, hundreds of thousands across the Midwest remained without electricity, now 750,000. Tuesday, which was their lose day, and now we're talking Tuesday night. So apparently a good portion, at least 300,000 people got their power back. Now the storm known as the Derecho tore from eastern Nebraska across Iowa and parts of Wisconsin and Illinois, blowing over trees, flipping vehicles, causing widespread damage, property, and crop loss. The storm left down trees and power lines and blocked roadways in Chicago and its suburbs. Crushed cars completely. Look at that. That guy's not going to work. Well, nobody's going to work, so not a big deal. In Iowa, farmers reported that some grain bins were destroyed and cornfields were flattened by the storm. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds said early estimates indicate 10 million acres damaged or destroyed in the nation's top corn-producing states. Let me repeat that. It's not like 300,000 acres, 10 million acres. If that number isn't staggering, then I don't know what number could be. This morning I had a farmer reach out to me to say this is the worst wind damage to crops and farm buildings he has ever seen across the state in such a wide area, ever. Zystra 69 said crop insurance will help many farmers cut their losses, but that the financial hit will be devastating for many. Now, as we see small businesses closing at insane numbers, to say record numbers is beyond reproach. We're talking exponential. This is unprecedented. Unprecedented numbers in small business losses, and now unprecedented crop losses. Thunderstorms formed in south-central North Dakota, just north of the South Dakota border at 3 a.m. Monday, August 10th, 2020. The storm line moved southeast across South Dakota, producing hail up to 3 inches in diameter and wind gusts as high as 73. As soon as this baby took on this cup formation, that's when the derecho formed, and it moved all the way through the Great Lakes. The storm continued southeast into far northeast Nebraska, then turned due east, the path shaped like a hockey stick, and moved across central Iowa, where the strongest winds occurred. And that could be an understatement. The remnant line moved across much of West Ohio and Kentucky. Getting plucky. The image above shows the curvature of that derecho forming right here with the supercells, boom, boom, and then curving out to bring that wind potential and to really kick it in. So that's basically what happened here. Take a look at this. After midnight, the storms have moved through much of western Ohio and Kentucky. The image below shows obviously crushed grain bins, destroyed with 100-mile-per-hour winds. Absolutely devastating. When the strongest winds occurred in general, the strongest winds were along just north of I-80 in Iowa and Illinois. Tens of thousands of acres of corn was destroyed by the derecho. Well, we just heard that it was more like 100 million plus. So when those numbers get, when we get the real numbers, we'll get the real numbers. Tens of thousands of acres of corn, potentially millions, were destroyed in the derecho, mainly across Iowa and Illinois. If it wasn't bad enough, many grain elevators and bins were damaged, destroyed, or completely obliterated. There's no fixing them babies. Now, I've stood on this. This is about an hour west of Top Knot. Hello. And we've been out here. This is the South Haven Pier. And usually you can walk here. Not happening anymore. And just about 5 years ago, global warming said that the Great Lakes were going to dry up, and now they're higher than they've ever been, ever. Hundreds of homes inundated there. Here you can see a trampoline bent in half, akin to the devastation to the Midwesterners. This is all they had, a trampoline. So sad. And again, a piece of wood that someone could have burned is now being wasted on the road. It's a tragedy. Let's just take a look at some of the winds. If you want to say record-breaking, most of the media is reporting on 60 to 80 mile-per-hour winds. Well, what about the 112-mile-per-hour gust in Midway, Iowa? 106-mile-per-hour gust in La Grande, Iowa? Or Hiawatha? Isn't that racist, Iowa? Change your name. 100-mile-per-hour Albion, Iowa. Marshallton. That's probably racist, too, because it's white people who do cement work that use those tools. I mean, I'm just saying. Anybody's guess. So, complete devastation. Thinking about those in the farming community tonight, this is just a sampling of the many cornfields across Iowa laid flat. Now, the good news is that if the stalks bend, they could still mature. So hopefully they've been pollinated, and this is still a good genetically modified corn crop for all of your processed food, including Fritos and Doritos, etc. Because that's what people need to stay healthy. This shit lying down in a field in Iowa. Not! National Weather Service, critical fire weather threatens in the west, storms in the high plains, flash flood risk in the mid-Atlantic. Look at how pink that is. It's pink point. Critical fire weather conditions persist as we haven't had a drop in rain here in weeks. I mean, I can't even smoke a cigarette or a blunt outside. It's crazy. So heads up in all the pink and maroon regions. It's going to be hot. Did you know it was August? Tropical Depression 11 forming tight and narrow and headed our way after next weekend. Next week, we're looking maybe at landfall in the U.S., but we'll see how this baby develops. Seismic update. No quakes of note. That's good news. No news is good news. Worldwide volcano news update. Dukono, 7,000 feet. And the big story, Nishoshima continues to puff pass and make more landmass. You can kiss my molasses. So Nishoshima continues to puff and cool the earth as the Ebo does the same to 7,000 feet. Big story is Etna today. Beautiful Strombolian activity continues on the West Saddle. Whoa! That's just good enough for a dab right there. Etna volcano, spectacular Strombolian activity. Hello. It's delicious. It looks like pepperoni and mozzarella and delicious. Now the beautiful Strombolian activity continues at the saddle vent of the new southeast crater. Throughout the night, explosions have been near continuous, often throwing incandescent lava bombs on the outside flanks of the crater cone, which is leading to lots of oohs and ahs. Trust me. Now, let's check out the sun. 24-hour summary, very low solar activity continued in region 2770. That's the sunspot we pointed out just a few days ago. Now back at Alpha AXX, it's decaying further, almost no visibility on the disk. Despite its dissipation, region 2770 produced a weak B2 level X-ray enhancement just moments ago. Now, analysis of GOES 16 SUVI and stereo EUVI imagery revealed a likely active region just beyond the solar disk's southeast limb. And we're going to be keeping a close eye on that baby. There are the B flares coming from 2770. And here is the new activity. Hello. This baby is puffing and passing. So we're going to watch this as it passes through. As the spots decay as they face Earth, indicative of solar minimum, they reactivate as they turn around the limb. But one day soon, one of these spots is going to turn around the limb and become more active and shoot some BBs right at the planet in the form of coronal mass ejections. And that's the day we're waiting for. It's the day why we're here. Now let's talk about the impending ice age. Check out the ice building in the Arctic. Quickly turn the corner back in the multi-decadal averages, holding tight. And that is not the big news. The big news is record ice gain in the middle of the melt season in Greenland. Not a peep from, like, if I was in the global warming arena and this happened, I would be like, yes! Because this is record cooling. This is a record ice building day in the middle of the melt season. This has never been seen before in recorded history, in fact. This spike is equivalent to the ice building in the middle of winter. 5 gigatons built in a single day in the middle of melt season. He says 4 here. He got that wrong. That is 5.5 gigatons. Cap, what's going on? So, the official global warming narrative will never touch this, but this is the most significant event in the last 3 years since we started the channel. If anything we said is coming true, all the volcanoes we said would erupted. The uptick in cosmic rays, flooding events, etc. There's a lag time between the solar max and the cooling event. It takes 3 to 10 years. And that was over in 2016. So by 2026, we're going to be deep into the cooling, based on what we're seeing here. And by 2034, it could be the worst year in modern history for humanity, based on crop loss, extreme weather, cold, drought, heat, all the things, the entire recipe of that climate catastrophe that is driven by the sun, called grand solar minimum. And now at the same time, we're going to be living a magnetic excursion where small solar perturbations are going to be destroying the planet in certain areas, pocket by pocket, sending us back into the Stone Age. But this should be a wake-up call for all. In the middle of the melt season, some of the highest gains in ice that we've seen all winter. And not a peep from the mainstream, but a headline from Cap Alon over at Electroverse. Big thumbs up to Electroverse and all the work they've been doing for the past few years. I can't keep up. Well, we bounce off each other. Now, let's get to some of the science and where all your taxpayer dollars are going. Here, this paper coming out just today, groundbreaking study, State of the Planet, Earth Institute, stronger rains and warmer climate means better crops. Remember all those alarmists? What they determined in this study is that when you have more rain, you have better crops. And that costs money. So that's the state of science. This study proved that if it's nicer out, it's warmer, and there's more rain, there's more crops. I blew my mind. I had no idea. Past evidence supports complete loss of Arctic sea ice by 2035. Well, I thought the sea ice was gone in 2013, 2023. It's now like 25 years after that. So the sea ice is now gone in 2035 while it builds during the melt season right now. Who would ever believe that? Another thing that these scientists might not have learned is that the North Pole and the South Pole in the winter are in complete darkness and below freezing for the whole time. There's never a moment they're not. So there's that. So the fact that they could be ice-free by 2035 means that the sun is going to somehow illuminate those regions by shifting direction and spinning some other way. But they didn't cover that in the paper. Trust me. It's not over here because this is garbage. Dwarf planet Ceres is an ocean world, not garbage, with seawater beneath the surface like dozens of moons and other planets, including Mars. Perseid meteor shower 2020, when and where and how to see it tonight. If you don't go out tonight, well, you didn't go out tonight, I guess, or see the Perseids. Now, the bright Perseids is perhaps the most popular meteor shower of the year. I started seeing green fireballs as early as 3 days ago, and every single night since. This year, the moon will not be full. It'll be half moon, so it'll be, and it's not up. So there's that if you're in North America. I don't know where you are, but where I am, it won't come up for a while. So the best time to look for meteors in the pre-dawn hours, while the meteors will peak in the morning of August 12th. They'll also be very visible on the 11th and the 13th, and I saw them last night. So go out and look up. Oh, where do you want to see them? Let's see. It says look up. The meteor shower is best in the northern hemisphere and down to the mid-south latitudes. And all you need to do to catch the show is darkness. So just lie down and look up. It's that simple. The first gene-edited squid in history is a biological breakthrough. Well, and a genetic nightmare for people that live on the planet. We have no peer-reviewed studies on what this genetic modification of squid or salmon or anything else. There is no use of the precautionary principle. There is no long-term testing. Just like the vaccine, they're about to mandate that you get stuck into your arm for a virus that no one knows anyone is dead from. Hope you got something out of the video. Crop loss, volcanic eruption, earthquakes, all on the uptick. Rearrangement of global society. Just think about it. A small missile into a fireworks factory next to a ammonium nitrate filled ship equals the end of Lebanon. The government resigned. It's just the beginning. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance in the brave new world that we're entering. Form a community. Learn how to wildcraft. Stockpile. Do not be a sheep and be safe. We love you. Thanks to all our one-time donors, our Patreons. I'm about to go back out in the desert after I'm still dehydrated for another 12-hour trek to bring you more knowledge in the morning or in the evening, however it works out. We love you. Be safe. Share this video. And that's a boom.